Some mysteries scream for attention. They arrive with noise, chaos, and destruction. But the ones that stay with us the longest are quiet. They hang on walls. They sit in silence. They wait. Because sometimes the most dangerous things in history are not weapons. They are art. This is the true story of a painting that brought fear, tragedy, and death to nearly everyone who owned it. This is not a legend. This is not a myth. This is the story of the most cursed painting in history. Before we step into this dark and unsettling story, subscribe to History Mind, where we uncover real history, real disasters, and the truths that refuse to stay hidden. The painting was small, unremarkable at first glance. A young boy, wide eyes, tears frozen on his face. Nothing violent, nothing dramatic, and yet, people who stood before it for too long felt uneasy. The painting was created in the early 20th century by an artist whose life was already filled with pain. He used a canvas once taken from an old coffin lid, wood that had already known death. Some believe that was where the curse began. The artist painted the boy's face using his own son as a model, a child who would later die tragically. Shortly after completing the painting, the artist himself passed away under mysterious circumstances. The painting was sold, and that is when the pattern began. The first owner displayed the painting proudly in his home. Within months, his business collapsed. Soon after, his family was struck by sudden illness. Visitors to the house reported strange sensations, cold air, unexplained sounds, and a constant feeling of being watched. The owner removed the painting, but the damage was already done. The second owner did not last long. He experienced a series of personal tragedies, financial ruin, broken relationships, and finally, an unexplained death. Each time the painting changed hands, the same story repeated. Different people, different places, same outcome. By now, the rumors had spread. Some people refused to look at the painting. Others claimed the boy's eyes followed them across the room. Children cried in its presence. Adults felt overwhelmed with sadness and fear. And then, there were the survivors. One family claimed the painting caused violent nightmares. Another said their home felt infected by its presence. A fire broke out in one house. Everything burned, except the painting. It was found untouched, hanging on a wall surrounded by ash. That was the moment people stopped calling it coincidence. If you're finding this story unsettling, you're not alone. Subscribe to History Mind, because some stories in history are disturbing for a reason. Psychologists attempted to explain the phenomenon. They argued that fear feeds fear. That belief creates behavior. That expectation becomes reality. And yet, how do you explain so many unrelated tragedies linked to a single object? Scientists examined the materials, the paint, the canvas. Nothing unusual. No poison, no toxins. Still, the pattern refused to disappear. Even skeptics admitted one thing: owning the painting changed people. It affected how they slept, how they thought, how they lived, and sometimes that was enough to destroy them. Eventually, the painting was donated. No owner wanted it anymore. Today, it is kept away from private homes, behind glass, observed but not possessed. Since then, the death stopped. Some say the curse ended. Others believe it is simply waiting. Because cursed objects do not chase victims. People choose them. They bring them home, hang them on walls, invite them into their lives. And when tragedy follows, we ask questions we should have asked sooner. If this story made you uneasy, that means history did its job. Subscribe to History Mind, where we explore the dark side of human history so we don't repeat its mistakes. Some paintings are meant to be admired. Others were never meant to be owned.